Here.
Director Beatty?
Here.
Director Sangster?
Present.
Director Green?
Director Green, might be a little bit late.
We'll just have to do a time when he comes in.
Yeah.
Okay. We need approval for the regular meeting agenda.
Motion to approve the meeting agenda.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Hearing none. Passes 4-0 with one absent.
Davis, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Got some flag back there.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we've got public comments and communications for items not on the agenda. Persons wishing to speak on a matter not on the agenda may be heard at this time. However, no action will be taken until placed on the future agenda. Limited 3 minutes. Please sign in with your name and address at the podium.
Do that. Want to speak also, or just sign in?
Sign in and then we'll give you the minutes.
Can you just voice your name? That'd be good.
Barbara Goodrich.
Means.
Take the floor. My name is Barbara Goodrich, and I speak for the trees. I've been hearing a lot about the trees on Mission Street and them not being watered, and the cost to fix the irrigation is too much money, but I'm here to say that the trees give us much more than what the expense is to outlay. The trees first give Mission Street its charm. They soften the edges of the pavement, they cast shade that makes strolling and shopping and dining pleasant. Tree-lined streets can attract tourism, they are inviting, and they draw visitors. But beyond aesthetics, trees are workhorses. They cool pavement in the summer, reducing heat by up to 10 degrees. They absorb rainwater, they clean up air. And multiple studies, businesses on tree-lined streets see more foot traffic and have higher sales. That's not just nice, that's essential for a thriving economy. You guys are probably concerned about budget, so let's talk about the bottom line. Trees increase property values. Homes on tree-lined streets sell for more, commercial districts see higher rent and business values. They boost local business. Studies show that shoppers linger longer and spend more on streets that are lined with trees. They lower infrastructure costs. Shade extends the life of your pavement by shielding it from the sun. Trees are currently being watered by hand, and this is very costly. It's costing you a lot of labor to do this. And in the long run, fixing the irrigation is going to be much more cost efficient. So, and let's be honest, once a tree is cut down, you can't just replace it. It takes decades to match the shade, the beauty, and the ecological value that we already have. So please save our trees.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any other public comment? No? All right. I have a comment, or maybe a concern. Christina, this was discussed at some length about the camera that's behind the board members. Is that going to be addressed, or how are we handling that?
It was brought up that it is unknown how the camera behind the board was authorized, or if it was authorized, and how that came to be. We can't find any documentation as to that, and so it would be something to bring forward on a future agenda with regard to policy as to going beyond the legal requirements of allowing video to be taken at a public meeting. Typically, it's taken from the other side of the board facing them and not behind. And there was some concern of things on laptops or paperwork or other invasions of what the board has in front of them from that camera or anything else. And so it's something that if two board members want to bring up and have it in a future agenda, then we can do that along with any other related policy discussion.
So it has to be agendized?
It does. You don't have to agendize, if you want to remove that camera right now, that's not like a board action because it's never allowed in the first place, if that's what you're going for. And then, but if you want to discuss the policy of where cameras and people are located when recording, that would be something to put on a future agenda item.
Okay, yeah, I would prefer the camera on the other side of the tables, so I would prefer it to be moved myself.
You can take a short recess
Sure.
to do that.
We can do
You just
that.
want it on this side of the dais?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, just to chime in on that, so it's a public meeting, I believe public meetings are able to be recorded. I understand the concern about being behind the directors, it is kind of awkward. The camera is provided by a nonprofit organization who collects data to share with the C.S.D. for situations where the C.S.D. camera fails, so we have a backup, and the intent is not to obviously spy on the board or to stretch the imagination, but to capture both sides so we can see the audience and the board if necessary. I would suggest maybe moving the camera over to Director Davis's left and still having that perspective from the rear of the room, but not directly behind the directors.
We could be done quickly.
I think that's okay by me, but all of us are working on laptops, so I just don't think that it's appropriate to be directly behind the board.
Yeah.
So it's off to the side and it's showing what the,
That can be done in minutes.
that's fine.
So is that the consensus of the board?
Rod?
That's fine. But I have a question for council also. It's pertaining to cameras. The camera that was found in the back a month ago, do we still have that camera?
The camera's
That was
been
resolved.
I know it's been removed, but where'd it go?
It's in my truck right now.
Really?
Yeah, well, we have to put it back when we're done. So it's out of the building right now, it's in my truck. And when we're done with this meeting, I have to put it back.
Okay, well,
It does not belong to us, it belongs to the senior center.
It's a security device for the senior center.
okay. All right,
Okay.
that's all.
Recess?
5-minute recess is fine.
Okay.
Do less than that.
The one with the back.
Quite well.
You should let them know that you had it. Let you know.
Yeah.
You did.
No, I can't.
You doing this home?
You want to get kicked out.
We don't.
You want to get kicked out.
We'll move it back, you should, well,
Yeah, I think this way a little bit, Scott.
how would we do that? You should get up and walk around.
Watch your legs.
On the
Yeah, I am.
paper thing.
All right, cool. Good enough.
When's that little camera up there, Scott?
Christina.
Oh, that's 15.
That's for Christina. Yeah, that's her link to us. This is just like a redundant system in case they fail, you know, they can.
I'm waving so you can see, make sure you can see everybody. These look special, maybe. Testing, testing.
Okay.
There you go.
You good? We're good.
Thank you. Okay, we'll resume. Is there any other public comment? Items not on the agenda?
We'll call it to order in time.
No, call back to order at 6:12.
There we go. 2 minutes.
Public comment? Yes, please sign in and step to the podium.
Okay, so the reason I'm here, sorry.
Can I get your name, please?
Vidya Shock.
And just, if you could sign it, yeah, so I can, okay, perfect.
I have heard, because I saw the video from previous meeting, that there are plans to chop down trees, tear down the landscaping, and destroy whatever few little landscape trees or sidewalk landscaping that we have in town. I don't get the logic behind that, and it was paid and put in from everything I understand. We have about $200,000 in our accounts, whatever, and if they were to cut out the pavement to put in new landscaping, it would cost me maybe $20,000, which is probably due. I don't know when it was done. So PVC pipes, whatever, plastic polymers degrade over time, so it is overdue. And as part of a small community, I mean, all of us drive through the little downtown. For our downtown to look pretty, I mean, we see, in many downtowns are hanging baskets, and that's such a small stretch. I cannot believe what a little we have, this plans to tear it down. Not only that, I also heard that there are plans to pull down the tree or kill the tree in front of Elkhorn and then expand Elkhorn out to the street. So all this doesn't sit well. I mean, these sidewalks are meant for public use, not for somebody's private gain. And these are all taxpayer funded. I should be able to walk on the street, so should everybody else, all the kids, everybody. So to think that the street belongs to people or commercial enterprise is not okay. Not to mention, there's also issues of them encroaching more and more and more into the sidewalk. And it's not safe for us to walk around all that encumbrances they've created, walk on the road and then move on to just avoid them and whatever crowd they have there. So I would like to appeal to the board to relook at this. And I have already heard that they chopped down all the hollyhocks. I mean, it gives me great joy every summer to wait for those hollyhocks to grow. I really love those little sage bushes that are growing. They're all pretty hardy from what I've seen. They survived so many years with that little watering or whatever. They're pretty good. They're pretty tolerant. Why we have to tear at whatever little beauty we have left and destroy the place, I don't understand. It doesn't build any community, and I would urge you guys to not do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Okay.
Hi, my name is Rudy Schulk, and I just wanted to follow on to what Lydia mentioned. So this is something that we became aware of recently, and it just seems to me that if the community has put in a lot of effort, time, and energy to put all of this landscaping in, we should maintain it. Just because there's a leak in the irrigation system doesn't mean that we should tear it down because we don't do that. Repair it. So I would really just follow up and appeal to the board to take another look at this and see if it really makes sense to tear down. If you've looked at the cost of trees, especially the size of the trees that we have now, to replace a tree like that would be very expensive. So I think it would be better to just do a bit of repair on that irrigation system rather than to get rid of something that has increased in value over the time since we planted it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other public comment? All right, move on. We have special presentations and hearings. Item number 1 is confirming the 2025 abatement cost reduction report and authorizing collection of the charges on the county tax roll by resolution 2025-24. This is a time and place for a public hearing related to the district's proposed approval of resolution for 2025-24, confirming the 2025 abatement cost report and authorizing collection of the charges on the county tax rolls. Staff will provide a general presentation regarding the confirmation of the 2025 abatement cost report to be collected on the county tax roll.
Good evening. So the suggested action is after holding a public hearing to make appropriate modifications to the cost report, approve resolution 2025-24, confirming the cost report and authorizing the collection of the charges on the county tax rolls. My computer's a little jumpy. The San Miguel Community Service District Fire Department conducts a weed abatement program in accordance with the authority and procedures in Health and Safety Code 14875 and is permitted by Government Code 61100T. The staff recommends that the cost incurred to the district to abate weeds for properties where the property owners have failed to do so be placed on the tax rolls for collection. And the district performs weed abatement. Health and Safety Code 14905 provides an account of cost to be kept and an itemized report prepared for the board showing the cost of removing weeds from each parcel. A copy of the itemized cost report will be posted at least 3 days, which that has been done, prior to the submission to the board and with a notice of time and place. It was done at 3 locations within the community and posted in the paper as well. The staff has compiled these requirements, and the 2025 weed abatement cost report is now being submitted to the board for confirmation. After the hearing, the board may consider the cost report and hearing objections via Health and Safety Code 14910. The board may modify the amount if deemed appropriate, and then it is recommended that the board may adopt Resolution 2025-24 confirming the cost and directing that the resolution and cost report be submitted to the county tax assessors so charges can be collected on the top property tax roll. And the fiscal impact is the anticipated cost will be recovered by the district. We additionally have had a good relationship with Union Pacific over the last couple of years, so we're able to do the abatement on their railroad easements and they're reimbursing our costs. Those are 2 separate reports. The Union Pacific items do not go on the tax roll because their properties have 0 tax value, but we do contact a rep and they pay. So it's 2 separate items. So if you see 2 lists, that's why.
Okay. It is time to take testimony from the public. We request that each person who speaks sign in with their name and address. You have 3 minutes each. Is there any public comment on this item? No. Okay, we'll close the public portion of this hearing. Thank you for the public input. Now the board will have a discussion. Any board comment or? None for me. Okay. Dr. Davis.
Just one. Now, the people are going to be notified that this is going to go on their tax roll. They're going to pay it through their property taxes.
Yes, the notice has been posted, the time for appeal has come and gone, so they would be here to protest that.
Yeah, right, yeah.
They've been sent the proper notice. We had 3 notifications, 1 broadsword, 1 focused, and 1 extremely focused, so they were notified.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
And in total, it was, I think, 13 properties, is that right?
I believe so, and then the Union Pacific properties. It was fairly mild, as usual. People are really good about maintaining their weeds, and 2 of those properties were actually a request by the owner just to have us do the abatement and put it on the tax roll because they just couldn't get to it.
Okay.
It was 6,000. That's what they got.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
620.
President, I move that we adopt resolution number 2025-24.
Sorry. Now, hold on here. I'm sorry, my things got weird.
Motion by Director Slanley, do we have a second?
I second.
Yeah.
Second by Director Reed.
Director Davis.
Yes.
Director Smiley.
Yes.
Director Beatty.
Yes.
Director Green. We're
Abstain.
approving the weed abatement, okay? Director Sangster.
Yes.
4-0-1 abstain.
Thank you, directors.
Okay, item number 2 under special presentations and hearings, no longer needed.
This has been settled, it's no longer.
Okay. Thank you. Move on to non-district reports. San Luis Obispo County organizations. Yeah.
I did talk to Supervisor Michon, and he was not able to make this meeting, but he said he should be able to make the next meeting.
Okay. And nothing from the sheriff's office.
I have not spoken to the sheriff for a few days, and I'm not sure what their availability is right now.
Yeah, they're saying fireworks.
They're probably
4th of July, yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Community service organizations. How about Camp Roberts?
Yay! Hey, nice to see you. Yeah.
Do we time Camp Roberts?
Come on.
I don't believe.
Come on, give me
I didn't think
10
so.
minutes.
And we haven't heard, well, I just wanted to verify. Thank you.
I'm just not used to seeing them out of,
I know.
retire.
Here we are. So if you guys haven't met me, my name is Kiva Baird. I'm the Public Information Officer for the California Military Department. I serve this region, so I serve both Camp Roberts and Camp San Luis Obispo. Behind me is our special guest. This is the current commanding officer of the Garrison Training Center, Brian Keels, Colonel Brian Keels. Wanted to show up so you guys can see both of our faces. It's been a while since I've been to this one particularly. We definitely attend the advisory council, however, so the word is getting out. That kind of fits our schedule a little better. So we're gonna work with you guys to try to get this hardscape one. We'll have a representative here for sure, whether it's myself, Colonel Keels, the boss, the boss. So to get that FaceTime is pretty interesting. If you don't mind, I would like to just kind of give you guys some updates, and can I address that one behind me?
Sure.
Hi neighbors, I don't think I've met some of you guys. I'm Kiva. As you guys know, you guys are contiguous with Camp Roberts here, which is a Tier 1 military facility for the California Military Department, so that holds a lot of weight. It's kind of your guys' little gem if you didn't know it. So I'll just give you a couple of updates since January, right? So we have our own fire department, if you didn't know, Camp Roberts Fire Department, and we conduct the largest control burn in the state of California. Lucky you guys to be neighbors to that smoke. If you guys ever have any issues with the smoke, please give me a call. We try to put everything out to the environmental board relatively early. The air board, they're pretty good, about a month, 30 days ahead of time. If you guys have any questions with air quality or if it's affecting you guys on a deeper level, I will leave my phone number here and you guys can call me directly, or of course Colonel Kills. So we burned about 9,300 acres this year, and in concert with CAL FIRE and the wildland, they conducted a wildland fire class. They burned an additional 11 acres. Tomorrow there will be another burn where they burn 5 more acres over here by the RV park. So you guys might be affected by that one. That is to get within regulations for some environmental requirements to protect butterflies, actually, so that one's kind of fun. Our mutual aid support, we have responded to 163 off-post emergencies this year, so we've been pretty busy. We did some historic preservation for troop morale. We restored our Victory Hall. I don't know if any of you were able to attend, but it was open to the public, which was a huge push here for Colonel Keels. So the building is gorgeous. It's a state-of-the-art complex. It will be up for you guys to be able to rent, maybe for the school in partnerships with schools or dance community, anyone who's interested in performing in theater. The theater was also used to train over 3,000 troops into firemen in support of the local, well not local, but the LA fires earlier this year. We've also pushed through over 100,000 troops this year for training for boots on ground throughput, and according to our DPTMS, we're projected to see 500,000 by the end of the year. That's a regular number that we typically see. And of course, if it seems really congested down here, and if you guys have any issues with troops on ground, please reach out to us directly, and we will be able to handle that for you. And then, of course, most recently, we have trained 5,000 plus soldiers in support of Task Force 51, and that is in support of the civil unrest in Los Angeles and the most recent federal activations of our state troops. And then last but not least, next week, you'll see the British Special Forces in the sky. If you look northeast, they typically train here once a year, so we still have that contract, and we're excited to have them back. Of course, if the British troops cause you any issues, please reach out to us and we'll put you in contact with someone who can wrangle them back in. They're pretty mellow though, pretty mellow. Sir, would you like to say anything?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me here this evening. Sorry I'm out of uniform, but I like to come down to Manny's and get a pizza after work, so I kind of already changed out of my uniform and kind of went just come down here casually and greet all of you. One thing I do want to put out a couple things. You hear a lot of jets around. That's not us. That's the Navy out in Lemoore. They like to fly out over the lakes. That's one of their flight paths. We have no control over that, unfortunately. But this Sunday, I believe it is, our Civil Air Patrol is going to have a flyover. We have about, 650 cadets coming through, and you'll see the little Cessna circling for their training. Very quiet, but they're going to get a special treat of 2 F-15s flying over their head for their graduation ceremony.
You know what that is?
Do you have a time map on that?
I don't know, send it over to you.
Yeah, we'll get that to you.
I'll look forward to it.
You'll feel like that.
They're going to come from the south, and so when they come over here, it should be quieter, and then they'll do a little show. Once they get over the base, they'll power up for the cadets, and it might be 1, maybe 2 passes, and that's it. So it'll be middle of the day, so hopefully, aside from some babies that might be sleeping. And then also, we're here, we've got a lot of resources, we're cleaning things up. She mentioned our theater. If you've got Real ID, and we do movie nights over there now. So get with our MWR and our PAO if you have anybody from local that wants to bring kids to a movie night. Double check that the movie's appropriate depending on what age you're bringing in. They like to show a lot of military movies, Top Gun, things like that. So they're not that bad, but along those lines in our brand new theater. So it's full like a theater, and they serve popcorn, and we have sodas and things like that. So our local community, because we really want to partner with all of you, we can work out something that lets you come on and enjoy those movie nights. We're working on our museum, also putting in some parks, and of course we got a large athletic field we can work with you folks on too. But love the community here. A lot of our soldiers that are on the post live here in the community too. So we want to be good partners with you folks, and we have resources and things that, something happens, we'll be right next door to you, water, things like that, sewer plant. I know that was something talked about years ago, and happy to work with the community here. And hopefully you folks can work with us as we train soldiers and get them out for just about anything, fire, flood, hopefully not more, but that's inevitable in due time. But want you folks to know who I am now, and if you have any issues, get a hold of me or Kiva, and I'll make sure you guys have some cards. So that's all I have. Kiva?
Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Colonel.
Thank you.
Any questions? No? All right, guys, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Until next time.
Thank
you. I'll send you an email with the dates. Thank you. Good to see you. And the movie stuff.
All right, do we have any public comment on the non-district reports? All right, move on. Staff and committee reports. General Manager.
Yeah, my report, the only thing I have to add is there has been a couple of questions regarding restitution of 2 cases of embezzlement with the district, Myers and Johnson. Both of those are currently being paid back through probation. So I just want to make sure that everybody understands that. There's been a lot of questions about whether or not they were active or whether or not we were being paid, and they are paying them back through probation. We don't have a lot of control over how much they're paying back. It's a percentage of what they're making. That is a line item in the budget under revenue, so if you're curious how much we got, then you can always look at that.
That's a monthly restitution by both parties.
We don't receive it on a regular basis, so I don't know. I'm not entirely sure how it all works, but they do garnish their wage, and we do get a portion of what they make.
Okay. Report questions or comments on the general manager's report?
No. I had a question regarding the last comment in the report, but I'll save it for when we can just talk.
Okay. Any public comment on the general manager's report? No? All right. Where we go? Yes.
We have to stand up there?
Yes. Please sign in.
When was the last time we got any money?
This week.
I think it's weak, yeah.
This week.
How much?
I would have to look.
Yeah.
Under 100?
No.
Is it more than that?
Yeah, it's more than that.
I don't know. They'll be in the report.
How much have we gotten last year?
We would have to look.
Over 1,000?
Potentially. I don't know. I would have to look.
I mean,
Would it be in the,
Yeah, you can look in your financial report.
What we got to date would be in the financial report.
well, why don't we, when we get there, why don't we take a look?
Direct us to the line item when we get to the financial report.
Yes.
Okay, great, Brett. Yeah, excellent, thank you. Any other public comment on the general manager's report? No. Move on. District council.
I don't have anything under this item tonight.
Thank you. Public comment on the district council report. District utilities.
I have the report. I don't have anything to add.
Any board comments or questions on the district utilities report? No one?
I have a question. I don't know if it ought to go down to item 6 on the consent calendar or this district utilities. I have a real concern, and then you've got in the packet here that we're going to start receiving hazardous material. I mean, right now, we're receiving all the waste from all the honeypot trucks in the county and so on. And you said they pay like 11 cents a gallon. So how much does it cost to do that, to clean it up? You got any idea?
So this is if you're asking about the costs and associated charges for that, then we should discuss that under item 6 in the consent.
Oh, okay, that's fine. That's fine. I just didn't want to miss it.
Okay. Well, make sure that that'll have to be pulled out of consent, so make sure you do that.
Are you talking about the household hazardous waste in the utility report?
Yeah,
Are you talking about the septic receiving or the household hazardous waste?
It's two different things.
It's two different things.
I'm talking about